You ever wonder what's going on in Walt Disney World? Well, guess what? We're here to talk about it. And we're going to get into the latest and greatest news around the world in a moment. But first, let me introduce Kurt, who's back from a little vacation. John is here. Jess is back. She hasn't disappeared. And of course, there's Darlene.
Hello.
And I'm Stuart. And this is the WDW Fan Zone show. And we're going to get into it right now with the latest news. Just take it away.
Hey there, folks. Here's the news for the week. All right, so no more Park Pass reservations for date-based tickets. Very exciting change since the post-COVID-19 era of Disney. There are now good to go days, and they're officially at Walt Disney World for annual pass holders and cast members. This means that you will not need a reservation for these specific days. It is not very many of them on the calendar, but check my Disney experience for the days that will apply to you. Park hopping has also returned for all day and not just at 2 p.m.
Yeah, hi, Jess.
That
I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to interrupt you for the news, but I have to for this. Do you think, because I
absolutely.
just want to pose a question, do you think it's possible that the dates are only going up to February 1st because they haven't come up with any more to-go days yet based on how many reservations they're going to have the rest of the year? Or you think reservations will go away for annual pass holders after that day?
Mm, I think that they're waiting to see the reservations because I don't have any days blocked out for me in February at this point.
Yeah,
So
February
I
1st is
yeah, yes, as far as how many
to-go
people had
days.
been using
Yeah.
like the park passes, like I'm still able to grab every day for a park pass as an annual pass holder. So
Right.
I think that they're kind of waiting to see what days are. I don't know. I mean that's a good question. And I guess we'll see from month to month, huh?
Yeah, I guess we will. Good survey
Well,
question, John.
what was that?
And I said good survey question to John
Yeah.
for the WW Fan Zone. Just a little plug. All right, I'm sorry, Jess. Go ahead. I
That's all
won't interrupt
right.
again.
Um, so the park hopping has returned for all day, not just at 2 p.m. That also means that buses between the parks will now start at 10 a.m. And that also means virtual queue and lightning lane rules have changed. So for virtual queue, you can select whichever ride is available at 7 a.m. You do not have to be in a park to do that 7 a.m. one. But for the 1 p.m. virtual queue, you do need to be in whatever park you're grabbing that virtual queue for. So that just got a little easier too because now you can be in the park before 2 p.m. and grab a different ride virtual queue if you did not get one for 7 a.m. You may not have virtual queue per day. You can only get one. Lightning Lane has also changed, and I don't know if this is a glitch or if they meant to keep it this way, but you cannot get a new Lightning Lane for a different park until 2 p.m. if you're
I was
still
going to
in
ask
your
about
first
that because
park.
that's what I'd heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're not sure if that's a glitch or if that's something they forgot to fix or if that they meant that. But if you are in your new park, so if you're it's 10 a.m. and you went to the new park, you can get the lightning lane for that before 2 p.m. But if you're switching to, you want a 6 p.m. one, you have to wait until 2 p.m. Unfortunately, at this time. All right, so the Country Bear Jamboree at Magic Kingdom will close on January 27th to make way for the new update that was mentioned at D23 in September. It is planned to reopen this summer. Ride closures that are now in effect, and this is typically rides that close around this time to have refurbishments, and they're typically short-lived closures. So Cali River Rapids is closed until mid-March. Rock and Roller Coaster is rumored to be closed until summer. We don't have a specific date on that at this time. Big Thunder Mountain is January 16th through the 20th. And the Skyliner is January 16th through the 21st, including the Riviera and Epcot line. That will be closed through the 27th. So make sure if you're staying at any of those Skyliner resorts that you know when those closures are, and that you may take a bus for transportation that is available. Florida residents can now buy a 2-day Disney Thrills ticket for $199 or a 3-day for $219. This is now on sale and can be used until March 15th. And these tickets will require a park reservation. There are a couple add-ons that you can put onto that too. A park hopper option is $40 more per ticket. Water park and sports option is $35 more per ticket, and a park hopper plus is $55 more per ticket. The Disney dining plan is back. The quick service plan and the standard Disney dining plan. Guests must be staying at a Disney World hotel to book these. My Disney Experience app can guide you through what you have, how you can use it, and mobile ordering does work with the Disney dining plan. And finally, for the news, Ahsoka is renewed for Disney Plus for season 2. There are no details on a timeline or a release date at this time. All right, so park hours. Pretty simple this week. Friday and Saturday, Magic Kingdom, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Epcot and Hollywood Studios, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Disney's Animal Kingdom, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Typhoon Lagoon is closed. Blizzard Beach, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Boardwalk, 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Disney Springs, Friday and Saturday is 10 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. And Sunday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. This weather, oh boy, we are in for some fun weather this week. It is like up and down all over the place. Make sure you check out some sort of app to see any changes. But at this time, the weekend looks nice with highs in the mid 60s, lows in the low 50s. If you are going out to the parks tomorrow night, there is a storm predicted. Not technically sure on what time, but it can range anywhere sometime in the evening tomorrow. And then storms earlier in the week to make way for a nice, very, very, very cold front. And it'll bring us into the 30s for a few nights. And then I think Wednesday's high is like 48. So yay. And then things should come back to the 60s for next weekend, though. And that is all I have for today.
Great. Thank you so much, Jess. It's great having you back and great news reporting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And see you real soon.
Take care.
Bye, Jess.
All right. And then there were 4. So the topic for tonight's show is, things that are gone from the parks that we'd like to see return or make a comeback. But before we get into that, there is something I do want to mention that's kind of news related. If I mentioned it last week, John, if you remember, Darlene, I'll stop right here. But Disney has banned duck on their cruise ships. Those little ducks, people play that game, Hide the Duck.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
So what the duck?
Rubber ducks are gone?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand why, unless it's safety reasons that they're concerned with, or maybe they want to sell some Donald and Daisy duck. I don't know.
They used to sell them on the boat.
Yeah,
Little
I
Donald
don't
rubber
understand
ducks.
the reasoning, but there must be some reason for it. It would have been nice if they had stated why when they, issued that press release as to discouraging people from bringing their ducks. But
My guess is, like you said, it's a safety thing. Maybe someone's tripping over them.
And I think it's
Something like
safe
that.
either for the guests or for the cast members or the running of the ship somehow. Yeah.
It's unfortunate at times because people will complain. When I say people, a very small number of people will complain about something, and they get to the person who makes the decisions, and they'll say, "Okay, we're going to stop this." And that could be what happened here too. But I don't know. Don't know. All right. Anyway, the topic for tonight's show. Things that are gone from Disney that we'd like to see come back. Anybody want to go first? And get, John, I'm sure you've got a big list there.
I don't have a huge list. Actually, I was thinking about this, and I'm not really heartbroken sometimes when things change. I like things
Yeah,
changing. I
I
like the
agree with
new.
you.
But I have my list. It's just not a huge list. But do you want me to go with a huge hitter out of the box, or you want me to go with something simple?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. Well, my biggest thing, when I look at my list, my biggest thing that I wish they would bring back, and I know that they won't and can't, is the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights.
Yep.
That is the thing in Walt Disney World that I miss the absolute most.
I agree with you there.
I do too.
Completely agree.
That's not mine.
They could actually bring in their own version of it.
They
Basically,
certainly have to put it
2021.
somewhere different.
Yeah.
We've talked about different options where they could do it.
Disney Springs.
Well,
I wouldn't do it at Disney Springs.
I don't know if it'd
They
be
could.
sacrilegious to do it on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be fun.
Yeah, Main
But-
Street World Showcase.
It would take the charm away, but World Showcase, I think, would be another interesting place to do it. But I don't think they'd do it in either place.
The lights, and I think we've mentioned this on the show before too, have been donated to Give Kids the World, and they've been using them every Christmas the last couple of years. Anyway.
I don't care what kind of lights it is, just to have that music playing, and the
snow.
flashing lights, and
that was something awesome. And I agree with you. I miss that more than anything else. There are some attractions that have come and gone, but I think of all the things over the years, that's probably what I miss the most too. Hey, Darlene.
Well, I think Mickey's Toon Town is one of the things that I'm most upset about because I loved going there with Alicia when she was growing up. It was such a great place to be able to walk in and sit down on Minnie Mouse's chair or, cook in, the kitchen while you were walking through. There was always so much to see and do in there.
Yeah, good. Kurt.
I'm actually going a different direction, kind of towards John's park, though. They're not going to bring back Star Wars weekends, but they can easily bring back the hyperspace hoopla. They've got the stage for it. So I'd love to see the hyperspace hoopla come back, even if it's only right around the May the 4th Be With You celebration that unofficially happens on May 4th.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, it's great.
I'm going to go with something that I don't think will be a surprise to you guys, and maybe to some people that are, if anybody's listening to us or watching us. By the way, if you are watching us or listening to us, please give us a thumbs up and like the show wherever you're, whether it's on podcasts, someplace, Apple or wherever it is, Amazon, or if you're watching us on YouTube, it will help us out tremendously by giving us that thumbs up and subscribing to the show. And don't forget the WDW Fan Zone app that was developed by our very own John.
And thank you to our new users. We've had a couple of new app users this week. And for those of you that are starting to answer the survey questions, and we don't have anything earth-shattering just yet. And the first survey question that we had was kind of self-serving for the podcast. Well, you want me to talk about it now, or you want to talk about it later?
Okay.
So the first question we asked is, would you be interested in being a part of a WDW Fan Zone cruise sometime in the first half of 2025? And there have been 3 responses so far, and one of them was mine. So We haven't, and no, the survey questions are a new feature on the app, and I'm sure there's been users that have definitely not seen them just yet. But
Yeah.
so we have 3 answers so far, and we have 2 yeses and 1 no so far.
Okay.
One last thing, if you start to answer the survey questions, you can go back and answer old questions. And we only threw a few simple questions out there to start. We're going to talk about which one we put out this week. But after you answer the current question, you can then select one of the older questions. It'll show past survey questions at the bottom. You can select an old one and it'll replace the one on which you're voting, and you can vote on those as well. So if you don't get a chance to answer the survey question before we go on to a new one, you can go down and answer some of the past ones as well. So certainly look forward to you interacting with us and sharing some of your responses with us. It's all anonymous. We don't know who votes, but we just know how many yeses and how many nos.
Yeah. Now, John had referred to the survey questions. One of the survey questions, I don't know if it's still the current one or not, but it's the last one I saw on there, is would you be willing to go on a fan zone cruise the first half of the year?
That's the one that I just.
That's what he just said.
Yeah.
Well, my initial research, and don't hold me to this, nothing's written in stone, but my initial research is indicating that it would probably be in the earlier part of 2025 rather than the second half. When I say the second half of the first 6 months, so probably within the first 3 months of, but things can change. It depends on pricing and number of people interested in going. It would be a non-Disney cruise, but it'd be just great to get everybody together and see where it goes.
That wouldn't stop us from talking about Disney or other things.
Correct. Yep. Anyway, so the thing that I would like to see come back, which I know will never ever come back. I never say never with Disney, but I don't believe it'll ever come back, is Fast Pass. Replace Genie Plus.
You're taking all of mine.
You're taking money out of Disney's pocket.
Yeah.
He said he knows they never will.
I know it's not going to come back, but that's the thing that I would like to see the most. I'm not going to mention. I do have something on my list as well that I would like to see come back, but I don't think it ever will because I don't think it would ever be as popular as it was in its heyday. But I'll get to that later. And do you guys have anything like that, John?
Like Fast Pass?
Like
No.
Fast Pass?
Anything that you think you'd like to see return, but you don't think it will because it wouldn't be the success it was at one point in time.
I
have one, but
go ahead.
It might be the same one I had.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Well, what I would love to see come back is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't think we can get it back in the park right now.
No, not going to happen. You know what? We went on, what is it, Nemo something? I forgot what it's called in Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
It's the submarine voyage.
Yeah.
At Disneyland? Yeah.
Yes.
You would need to make the submarine a little bit bigger with bigger seats because it's kind of cramped in there, even for people who are
5'2".
Yeah. All right. John, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that I think just about anything that I have on my list that they're not ever going to bring back. But I was looking at my list and I'm realizing, and I don't know how your lists are, but I have one park that has a lot more items on it than any of the other parks. Do you see that? Or yours spread out pretty well?
My list is up here.
Oh, well, so okay, I'll let you have to compute that one. So I'm gonna go over to the park where I have the most items. And the park where I have the most items is Epcot. And so I'm gonna pick one here, probably one that I think will resonate with Kurt. But I'm gonna say the Dreamfinder. They would bring the Dreamfinder back.
Yeah.
I should have Figment out here hiding somewhere instead of hiding behind the scenes.
They brought Figment back a little bit more with the character meet and greet, and he's still in the attraction, but I don't think that they're ever going to bring the Dream Finder back. But who knows?
I miss the original attraction. I really do.
Unfortunately, there's too many people that have never seen it and don't miss it. And it wasn't. It was just not a very popular attraction at the end. Early on, it was, but it didn't stay. So that's my next one.
Mhm.
All right. All right, Darlene.
So my next one is the Snow White Scary Adventure. Don't get me wrong. I love the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but again, it's another roller coaster and it's a little too fast and like too short. So
Kurt, you're shaking your head.
It's literally turned into an attraction that I enjoy it. I like the whole rocking and everything, but it's one of those attractions that my family is kind of like, why are we waiting this long for this short of a little roller coaster?
And I think that's the dilemma that Disney's going through right now. But to answer that question, I'm going to say to Disney, you created Genie Plus, which created these long freaking lines.
Right.
So you deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't driven. We rode it in 2020 when there were no lines anywhere. I don't think we've ridden it since.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I could go on and on about this, but I don't want to beat a dead horse. We've discussed this so much.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think we've been on it since Disney Plus started. I'm sorry, not Disney Plus. Well, maybe not since Disney Plus either. No, since Genie Plus started.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna pay to go on it, and I really don't want to wait in a long line. I never wanted to wait in long lines.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go with something that's not an attraction.
Ooh.
Figaro fries.
Oh,
They're
yes.
cheesy. They're delicious.
Bring them back.
Who doesn't like potatoes or French fries?
Where did they sell those? At Pinocchio?
And salad on top too.
Pinocchio's.
With a lot of
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train only has a 30-minute wait right now.
It wasn't it. It was Pinocchio's Village.
It was Pinocchio House.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
That's where they had the Figaro fries, which makes sense because it's Figaro.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Figaro the fish.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, John.
Did Darlene give one? Did you give one?
I go after you.
No, he skipped me initially because I said that,
right,
and then we went to John and Darlene, and now we'll work our way back around to the right order.
Yeah. So you go first, and then I go.
So it's back to me.
Yep.
It's back to you, John.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one that I doubt that anybody has on their list, and that is parking at the boardwalk in the Grand Floridian. You used to be able to park in extended lots across the street from the Grand Floridian and across the street from the boardwalk. They had.
And you used to be able to walk into Disney without a security check, and we know how well that would work out if they allowed that now.
But
it was the reason for not being allowed to do.
You had to walk a little bit, but it was a different way to get into the back of Epcot or to get to the Magic Kingdom. Well, I'm sorry, that's not true. So the Grand Floridian, you'd still have to go on the monorail at the time because the walkway from the Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom didn't exist yet. But those extended parking lots are long since gone.
Yeah, I think the last time we used it was like 2001.
Wow. I don't think I
ever. Also, you used to be able to. There was a way to get into the Magic Kingdom parking lot without going through the main gate. So you
Right.
used to be able to go through the back way over by Fort Wilderness,
Oh,
and
right.
go straight in.
Right.
That's not available anymore. Now they've got
Mhm.
that multitude of roads that go up,
Roads,
down, under,
yes,
and
yes.
everything
The
else.
flyovers.
Yeah, we're
they've
not even.
completely
Yeah,
eliminated that.
yeah.
We found it by accident. We were just trying to get over there. We're like, where do we go in? Oh, we just looped our way in.
Right.
Oops. So we
Yeah.
were staying on property anyways, but apparently too many other people knew the secret as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my next one is the Great Movie Ride.
Mm.
I
Good
mean,
try.
I love Mickey's Runaway Railway, but the Great Movie Ride was just one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was a great attraction.
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah.
Printed that for my son.
Aw.
So it made him a bigger one. You couldn't see enough detail with this one. I don't know if you saw during Jess's news, but I actually was shedding a tear because mine's about to go away by the end of the month, and that's the original Country Bear Jamboree. It's currently a shell of its former self as it is, but we still had Mama Don't Whoop Little Buford and Blood in the Saddle, and they're both going away, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're both away.
I know for me personally, it doesn't hold the same sentimental value as it does for you, Kurt. So I'm happy to see the change for them to try to make it more contemporary. Whether that'll work or not, I don't know. But if it doesn't work, that might be the final nail in the coffin of the Country Bears. So let's hope it works.
Well, the funny thing is that when my cousin was down here and she took her family, she was just like, I can't believe this is still around.
I just hope they keep the same lighthearted sentiment that it has now.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be terribly sad if they got rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see.
I still have my old records at least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Do you have a record player?
I sure do.
Okay.
And I actually could record it down onto
Oh,
an MP3.
There's mine.
Oh,
I can see
awesome.
mine.
And now this isn't the only attraction that I don't think will come back ever to Walt Disney World, but it's the one that people are clamoring or have clamored for years. Bring it back, rebuild it, bring it back, and that's Horizons.
No.
You know, it was a great attraction, but it's one of those where there's no way Disney's going to bring that back. Because at the end, if anybody remembers, you could just walk on.
Oh my gosh, it was easier to walk on there than it is to, Nemo and Friends today.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, John, we're back to you.
Back to me again.
Back to you.
Okay, well, I told you I have a number from Epcot, so I'm going to go to another one from Epcot, and I'm going to switch from an attraction, and I'm going to go to the mouse gears.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very unique shop, and what's the one Creation Shop now? Creation Shop it certainly has a different vibe. It's wide open and airy, so it's different from other ones, but it doesn't have, to me, a lot of character. I always thought Mouse Gears had a lot of character.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the sections that it had with unique merchandise, it was one, if not my favorite, gift shops in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
It was themed well.
Yes.
It actually
Very well.
had stuff in it theming it.
Including the Dreamfinder.
Mm-hmm.
It had one of the Dreamfinder vehicles. It kind of, built into the wall. Not a full vehicle per se, but you could see it.
Yeah.
Oh, golly gee. I'm trying to. Okay. So back in the day, does anybody remember I know we have, we have the People Mover, but does anybody remember the Skyway?
Skyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be so nice to have to get from one side to, Fantasyland again.
Except for when it's a 30-mile or even a 15-mile-an-hour wind. But yeah, you're right.
I was never on the Skyway.
Oh gosh, I was.
When did they close it out?
98,
I
97?
think it was 98. Yeah. It was like right after we left.
Hmm. Well, so it was there for a while after I was there, but
Yeah.
I just never went on it.
Yeah, I had myself on mute.
Oh,
I
well.
remember being on it the first time I went to Walt Disney World, but the second time I was there was in '98, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember being there.
In April, right? Yeah.
They removed it in 99.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
that's when
maybe.
they removed the towers, or
Correct.
is that when they removed the attraction itself?
It just says it was removed in 99. I don't
Okay.
remember it running in 98.
Okay. Well, it was a while till they removed the towers. For instance,
They
like
sit there
the
for a
one
while.
where Tangled is, they removed that later, and they put the restrooms in over in Tomorrowland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do like those restrooms are very nice.
So on either end of the Skyway now are restrooms.
Correct.
Looks like it closed in 1994, November 1994. Oh no, wait, never
Well, I
mind.
know I
That's
wrote it in
Disney.
94. I could have sworn I wrote it in 96 as well.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That was the one in Disneyland. It did
Disneyland closed in 94.
November of 99 in Magic Kingdom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just never got on it.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, November 10th, 1999. So
All right.
it was fun. I rode that in 72. It was an interesting view. I have slides of it. I think I have scans of it. So who are we?
It's your turn, Kurt.
Darlene? My
No, I
turn?
did. Yep, your turn.
All right. I going towards hang on, I gotta slip back to this one. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, because it was actually in the Wonders of Life Pavilion, and it's been closed for quite some time. I really miss Cranium Command.
I knew you were
Oh.
saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was
cool.
a great attraction. Yeah, I miss
Buzzy.
the making of me, Stuart. No,
Yeah.
I really miss Cranium Command. That was an awesome, lighthearted story. Just it was going through life of a teenage kid, and this is all the emotions they were feeling.
It
was
really
great.
pumped you up.
It pumped me up. That's right.
Yeah. That was yeah. It was Star Tours before Star Tours was there.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
It was Star Tours before Star Tours came around.
No, that was Body Wars.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That was
Cranium Command. The celebrities, the actors that portrayed the different functions of the body. I mean,
Yeah,
that footage is way too old anymore to use.
correct. You were inside the brain of a teenager and how it interacts with the human body. So
It was
you had Bobcat Goldthwait, who was the anxiety.
mhm.
Hans and Franz were your heart pumping it up.
George Wendt.
George Wendt. I don't remember what
Charles
listening to your
Grodin.
stomach.
Yes, Charles Grodin. It was Inside Out before we had Inside Out.
Inside Out, exactly.
Yeah.
It might be why we have Inside Out, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to take you
be.
back on the way back machine. Maybe not as far as Kurt went, but Kitchen Cabaret.
Oh yes.
Veggie, veggie,
Love
fruit,
Kitchen
fruit.
Cabaret. And that's another one. You know, that's another attraction that made way because Soarin' took the space over. So, you know,
Right.
think of it this way: if Kitchen Cabaret was still there, would we have Soarin', or where would they have put Soarin' instead?
Well, And well, Kitchen Cabaret had already gone away for Food Rocks.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Food Rocks is
I
pretty
like
good.
both of them, but
Yeah.
Yep, I did
Yeah.
too.
I love Soren.
It's great. And you know, they have California on right now. We don't know when they're going to take that out.
Wouldn't somebody's making a little bit of noise over there?
That sounded like it was coming from Darlene.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, did it? I don't know.
Doesn't mean it was you, but there it goes again.
There it goes again.
We've got ghosts on the show.
That was my finger sliding along my keyboard.
Keep it clean.
But
Oh.
no, it was. I can barely hear it, but it must have really picked it up.
Wow.
It's right next to the mic.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's close
it's-
enough, but wow.
Interesting. Sensitive mic.
They were blaming me.
Yeah, I have a story at the end I have to tell you about after we're done.
Hope it's not a finger story.
Oh my gosh, keep moving.
Was it my turn again?
No, I think it's John's turn.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's John's.
I'm going to go back to one that Kurt talked about. And I'm going to say, and I had this on my list before he talked about his, but it was the holiday version of the Country Bears.
Saw that the
Is-
last year it was open.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I really, and they could bring that back because they still
Oh,
have the
easily.
Country Bears. You know, and even after they changed the attraction, they put in the new songs, they could easily put Christmas songs into the new one,
Mm-hmm.
and have that holiday overlay for the show. And who knows, but I wish they would bring that back.
Back to Darlene.
I know. I'm because I know a lot of people didn't miss it at all, but I mean, Ellen's Energy Adventure was
Our
What-
nap, Stuart.
his long nap. I enjoyed it. We enjoyed going in there.
I'm with you, Darlene.
I don't remember it.
Oh
No,
my
I'm kidding.
goodness.
Well, right, you wouldn't if you were sleeping.
That was a great attraction.
Stupid
nap.
Judy. Stupid energy.
Stupid Judy. Uh,
All right. Well, I'm back around 2000. I started disliking Winnie the Pooh a little bit because he took out my favorite attraction, and that was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to have. It was so simple, but
Yeah.
it was good, clean fun.
It
Like
was.
you went to hell, but you know.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned this one. And maybe I'm on an island by myself on this one. We'll find out in a second. Interventions.
Oh, that was on my list.
I thought about it, but I didn't put it down. I don't wish they would bring it back. I miss it, but I don't wish they would bring it back.
So I would like to see it come back because to me, it was like a nice little break from the parks if you were spending the whole day there. Get to experience some things like they had, what was it, Waste Management had a thing there. The environment, I mean, they had a whole bunch of different things. They had the crane, what was that, crane simulator that you could do something with? I forgot the name of it.
They had a roller coaster simulator where you could build a
That's what
roller
it was, the
coaster.
simulator,
They
yeah.
had you could build robots to take home.
Some
with a
of all
plastic
thrills.
robot.
the storm.
Some of
right,
all
some of
thrills.
all thrills.
No,
man.
it wasn't even that.
Yeah.
This was a little computer screen, and it was a touch screen, and you'd build a roller coaster.
Oh, okay. That was, yeah.
And then
Some of
you'd
all
run
thrills
it.
was later.
Do you remember when
Yeah,
they
it
had
was a
video
really
games
old
in there
CAD
you could
program.
play? There were a whole bunch of video games, and it was like almost like an arcade. It was great.
Yeah,
A Studer computer.
that, and it showed the computers in the background that were running all the attraction.
Yep. I guess I was on an island all by myself there. That's all right. John, you're up.
I'm going to go back to another favorite, and I think I've heard you talk about this one before, Stuart, and that is World of Motion.
That was
And
going to be next on my list.
I wish they would bring it back. You do get a little tired of hearing that earworm of a song, even though they have it in all kinds of different versions. But I am encouraged when they say that when they redo Test Track, that they're going to have some throwbacks to World of Motion. So I'm very interested in seeing how that turns out.
Yeah, that will be interesting. All right, Dorleen.
Oh, well, my beloved Backlot tour that closed in 2014. We enjoyed that a lot. Going back, all the memorabilia and stuff. Oh, geez.
Especially the original tour. That was the 2-hour tour.
Yeah, it was just such a commitment in time.
I know.
And they needed it when the park opened because there weren't as many places to go, not as many attractions.
Right.
They didn't have Hollywood Boulevard yet.
So what's changed in Hollywood Studios? They still don't have enough attractions in there.
I know, right?
Well, but it was even less.
Well, that whole section is now Toy Story Land.
That whole section is now Toy Story. It's the Midway Mania.
Yeah.
So if you go through the third Toy Story Midway Mania, it's actually the stage where they produced the Mickey Mouse Club.
Right.
You know what? I love what they've done in Hollywood Studios. I think they need to do more. That's for another show, another day. But I miss, I think of all the parks, I miss what was originally there more than any of the other parks. There were other things I miss in each park, and maybe some things I miss individually more than the whole sum of what's in Hollywood Studios. But it's just like it's a completely different park from what originated there, and that was done intentionally, by the way, because they've gotten away from that whole studio thing. So even though the name still says
studio
Disney
thing,
Hollywood
right?
Studios. Yeah. But all right, anyway, Kurt.
All right. The other thing that I miss, it's not even an attraction. Did you know on the east side there used to be a side street behind the the Emporium? I miss the individual stores. I miss having to go in and out of each store.
Yep.
I miss the magic shop. I miss, all the different shops.
Yeah.
Now you just walk all the way through all of them. I miss the penny. There wasn't a penny arcade. It was the theater where you could go in and watch the old Steamboat Mickey, and that's gone now. It still plays in the background sometimes, but this is area where we could be making money, not just giving this away, and that really disappoints me. So I miss that.
Yeah,
and you'd like to bring it back.
I'd love to see it back. All of that. Bring me back Old Main Street USA. And I know that everyone used to get carpal tunnel when they were doing all the Mickey Mouse ears by hand when they were putting your name in there, but that was really cool too when you used to get that done right there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Main Street lost a little something when they changed it up where you could just walk from one end to the other and through the stores. And the stores aren't the same as they were years back.
Not at all.
A little too homogenized as far as I'm concerned.
Correct.
Superstar Television in Disney's Hollywood Studios or MGM Studios at the time. Missed that. Now, I would never participate in something like that.
I thought you did.
I'm sorry?
Oh, it was John that did?
I did.
Okay.
I was in Cheers.
No.
Back when it first opened.
Yeah. I love seeing people make fools of themselves. Sorry, John. But I would never participate, but it was great to watch people have fun. All right. Guess who's up, John?
Is it me?
It's you.
I'm gonna come up with something very esoteric here, and I'm sure nobody else has it on their list. And we actually have not talked about this park yet. It's the only one on my list in this park. We haven't talked about Animal Kingdom yet.
No, we
Oh.
haven't.
But the thing that I would like to have them bring back is Warden Wilson Matua.
Yes.
I always liked hearing him in the safari.
Mm.
And I think it just added a little bit to it. I know that whole story's gone, and Big Red and Little
I thought you were
Red.
going to say you miss Big Red laying on the side.
But I liked the music that they played in the background there, and
Yes.
I liked hearing him over the radio. And then interaction with the person that was driving the truck. To
Yeah.
me, it added a little depth and a little story.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I have anything else I can think of for the parks
I
that
know.
I'm desperately missing.
I've got one that Stuart wants back. Since we're in Animal Kingdom, we need to go back to Countdown to Extinction.
Yeah.
So before Dinosaur, it was pretty much the same story. It just wasn't toned down the way it is now. It was a little bit more. You really did need to be seatbelted in place. Yeah.
Yep. I do agree. But you know what, Kurt? If they took Dinosaur out tomorrow, as much as I enjoy the attraction, because of the state it's in now, I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
They brought it back to the original version and wrecked your rocks that are in your head. I would love it.
If they decided that they needed to just completely retheme it and turn it into a Indiana Jones attraction, I might take that.
Is there anybody here who hasn't been on the Indiana Jones attraction at Disneyland?
The Forbidden Eye.
Yeah,
a good attraction.
That one.
Oh my
That's a good
God!
attraction.
If they turn that, as rumored, into Indiana Jones, whew, Darlene, it might take us, as annual pass holders, it might take us about 6 years to get on it.
I know, right?
You might have to buy the Genie Plus for that one attraction.
Might have to.
It's still very popular in Disneyland.
It is, yeah.
It's a great attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the same. Actually, it is the same layout.
Same track. Yep.
Yep.
And they actually did an entire Behind the Attractions about the attraction in season 2 of Behind the Attractions on Genie Plus.
Since we're in Animal Kingdom, I'm going to stay in Animal Kingdom.
All right.
One of my favorite shows of all time that is sadly extinct now. If they brought it back tomorrow, I'd be there tomorrow to see it. Tarzan Rocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love Tarzan Rocks.
I thought you were going to talk about the kites.
Oh, that was next on my. And what was that other show they had there? Oh God, it was that nighttime show
on the river.
I
never saw it.
Oh, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
River of Lights or something like that.
Yeah, it was. The lighting was good. The lighting was excellent, as a matter of fact, but the show itself,
the projection wasn't that great.
It just didn't.
Well, they had chopped it up a bit.
It was so short from the time when we went one year and came back the next. It was gone.
Done. Yeah.
We never had the opportunity to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of things that came and went, remember the Stitch meet and greet? One day. Yeah.
That was a show. It was a stage show.
Yeah, that's right. It was a stage show. It was next to Carousel of Progress. It was out in the sun, no shade whatsoever. And somebody thought that would work. Really?
And 103 wasn't it like 100 degrees the day that they debuted or something silly like that?
It's funny, but Disney makes very few mistakes like that. But that's got to be up there with one of their biggest. So since we mentioned that, what do you think they're getting off topic just for a minute? What do you think the biggest success was in the parks at Disney World?
Singular success?
Singular success in the parks. And I'm not talking about the parks opening, just singular success. That was probably their biggest flop because it lasted one day.
Galactic Star
You'd
Cruiser.
have to go park by
Just
park.
kidding.
No park by park. Pick one. Pick one thing that you think was a huge success. I can think of one right off the bat.
I think it too.
I can
And
think of at
it's
least
in Hollywood Studios, the one I'm thinking of.
I can think of 3. So, well, they're all successful. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
whatever you want to call successful. If they've got to expand it because the popularity was so much. So, I mean, Soarin', huge success.
Yep.
Toy Story Midway Mania, huge success. It went from 1 to 3. So those are huge successes. They're nowhere near the success of Rise of the Resistance.
No.
Correct. That's the one I was thinking of.
Well, and that was the first one where they had to use the virtual queue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. But I think they learned about that because of Flight of Passage,
Right.
which still has 3 to 4 hour line.
Right.
I think there was a 5-hour line at one point over the break.
Wow. Yeah, the other one is, I mean, Remy's ride. That's always got a line.
Yep, it does.
That is my current favorite
Passage.
attraction
Oh yeah, cool.
in Walt Disney World.
It's
Is Remy's
favorite is-
Ratatouille.
Yeah,
That's a
mine
good
is
one.
Rise right now.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I still love Spaceship Earth. I still love Soarin'. I don't know even know if I could pick a favorite.
Tron Light Cycle that's a fun attraction as well.
I do love that one. Yeah,
It is. But
I'm
it's
glad it's not 4 minutes long.
Yeah, my wife does not. She's not a huge fan of roller coasters. She wants to ride that attraction again.
Mm.
That's how much she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to bring back the most is myself to Walt Disney World.
Well,
yes, great.
I
been
didn't
too
realize you
long.
were extinct, John.
Who are you up to now? We just went. I forgot.
I think we're back to
lost track.
Darlene.
Oh, I don't have anything.
Oh, she's out of stuff. So I think
Yeah.
we're just tossing stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like the whole ambience of Disney Hollywood Studios. There's no more Eiffel Tower.
No.
The steamroller from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you could have one person on top and the other person getting rolled over.
Oh yeah.
I miss
Yeah.
those things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I don't miss in Hollywood Studios? I don't miss the Sorcerer's Hat. I'm glad it's gone.
It give or take. I didn't care about it.
I loved it.
I didn't hate it. No. I didn't hate the 2000 above the
Right. Yeah.
Spaceship Earth.
Really? Oh, that was another
Nope.
one that's just
Oh,
like
it
I
was
didn't.
great.
I wish I had more
Yeah.
pictures. I can't find pictures of it.
I had a
in my
hotel room
portfolio.
and we could see it from our hotel room. That was
Yeah.
our view.
I thought it was an ingenious way to
I agree.
to leverage the Spaceship Earth for the Millennium. But I know
love
I'm in the minority, but I'm glad I've got company.
Yeah. Oh no, I
Mhm.
loved it. But I
Yeah,
love
it
what
was
they're
awesome.
doing with it now. You know, the lighting it up and stuff, and you could see it across the water clearly. So
I have some. I'm going to put two together that I'd like to see them bring back for a very selfish reasons, and that is American Idol and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So
yeah.
I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I think I got to the 250,000 point question,
Okay.
but I didn't get it right, and I have been one hair away from getting on stage at American Idol
Wow.
twice.
Wow.
You're too
Right.
old.
Wow. You know who's
Well,
on
being
American
old-
Idol? Dave Rashoni's wife.
Pardon me?
Dave Rashoni's wife was on American
Oh,
Idol.
I know. She won it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was right after one of Lou Mangello's WDW radio cruises. if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
Hold that thought, Mister. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I've got something to show you. Give me 3 seconds.
Yeah. So I didn't have quite what I needed to that day to make it happen. The two times that I just missed getting getting on stage. But
Wow.
and so Millionaire, I said I was there, and I made it pretty far, but I would like to go back and do them again. So I'd like to have them bring those two back.
Yeah.
Don't
On
think
the
they
Disney cruise.
You know what I
They
would
have-
like to see come back? Well, Kurt's looking for some information there. I would like to see them back the previous version of Spaceship Earth.
Oh, I thought about that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, John. In 2006, on the Disney cruise, when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was popular, they had Who Wants to Be a Mouseketeer.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I had number 33. I was the first person called. Club 33? Who knows? I won Who Wants to Be a Mouseketeer.
I don't even.
So
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
they
that's
gave
cool.
you this block that's basically like a paperweight.
Mhm.
Wow.
After I won, my wife won. So we have
Mm.
two of these.
Wow.
I never did that on the ship. So what did they do?
You literally went in to watch the show, and they gave everyone a number as you walked in. And my wife goes, well, if they call your number, or if they call one of our numbers, you're going up. Well, like I said, I had number 33. I went up.
What was the concept of the show?
Just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but they asked you
Okay.
questions about Disney.
Okay.
And then my wife got called. As soon as I was done, they called number 34, and she went up.
Okay.
That's great.
And we both won. Yeah, you were allowed to phone. Well, you couldn't phone a friend, so you could ask a spouse or something, and you could poll the audience, or you could take two away.
How many questions did you have to get right to win?
Oh, there were so many questions. I think it was 5. It was a quick show.
Okay. Well, it
But-
needed to be in that
Yeah.
environment, right?
Yeah, it was relatively quick, and
Mm.
again, they weren't giving anything big away like that. It was just something for fun to do. in
Oh
one of
yeah,
the
but
little
that's fun.
lounges.
Very cool. I had been on the set of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in New York with Regis Philbin. My wife, I helped my wife to get into that, and she never got under the hot seat, but so got to experience the original set, the original taping of the
Right.
show, and then got to be on stage there in Hollywood Studios.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But it's very much passé now.
Yeah.
Well, so is Regis.
Oh my!
Well,
No, he's past said.
Yeah, pass it. Yeah, well, he's missed.
He's
He was
passed.
a
Yes,
Great.
and missed.
great person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it now? I know, Darlene,
We're just
you're out.
tossing
Darlene,
them
don't you have to? I know you're out, but don't you have to get out?
That's what I was
Oh.
gonna say. I'm gonna say good night to everyone. Have a magical night. Stay safe, and definitely still pack layers because or it's hot. It's it's warm.
Depends on where you live.
cold. Warm.
The
cold.
boys will still be here once Darlene exits.
Good night, everyone.
good night, Darlene.
Good night, Darlene.
Gee, I thought you'd never leave. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
So yeah, there's. I
Oh,
mean, think
kidding.
of things that yellow ponchos.
Yeah.
The
You want to
sea of
bring them
yellow
back?
Ponchos. Oh God, I miss the yellow ponchos. You can't. You have no idea where your party is at, which is why they
You want
got
to
rid
see
of them.
yellow? Go into New York City and just look at all the cabs.
Yeah, all the cats. That's not the same. Walking through the parks, I have pictures of my son when he was 2, sitting there as I'm like, you good? Next ride, Dad. Because everyone would leave. You'd see a sea of everyone going to the exits. And again, you knew it wasn't going to be raining that long. So we'd be going towards the attractions as they're all walking out. It wasn't lightning or anything. It was still safe. And we were coming back anyways because he'd already taken his nap. He's like, next attraction, Dad.
You know, the best
So-
time to tour the parks was when it rained because everybody would leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Who are we up to? I don't even know anymore.
Go ahead, Stuart. Toss one out.
All right. I mentioned, did I? Oh, speaking of bring things back to the original, I mentioned Spaceship Earth. Also, I'd like to see the original because it can't keep up with technology. So I'd like to see the Carousel of Progress return to its original form and just leave it like that.
What was this? But that was a different song, wasn't it?
No, it was Great
No.
Big Beautiful Tomorrow.
It was
Oh.
it was the
When it
last
transferred,
scene.
when it
last was
transferred
different.
to Disney World, they switched the song up to Now Is the Time because that was a song for GE. It was more contemporary. But then when they remodeled it again, they took out Now Is the Time and put back in Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow.
Yeah, I would not go back to Now Is the Time.
No. You know, and the last scene was very simplistic for the time.
I have an answer for what they could do for the Carousel of Progress, but I think there's a way that they could make the last scene programmable so that you could make some simple changes to it without having to redo the entire set every so often. I think what you do is you take it back to a retro year, but you have the people that are there talking about the future. And every once in a while you could change some of the audio. So when there's some new technology that comes out, some new advancement that comes out, you could change the audio and work it into the audio to talk about, boy, you know, I look forward to the time when you can do such and such. And that's the newest thing. But you don't have to redo the sets. You just have to do part of the audio. So you have the retro scene, but talking about the future.
There's one major problem with doing anything with the Carousel of Progress right now.
And what is that?
Gene Shepard's
voice. He passed away.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you can do his voice through AI or something, and they've done some
you can
things.
You know they can.
You know, Gene Shepard was a phenomenal storyteller.
Yeah.
He had his own radio show. I mean, he was just an absolute talent, you know, beyond his time, or ahead of his time, I should say.
In God we trust, all others pay cash. That was his book.
That was
from whence A Christmas Story came.
I had his album, the Declassified Gene Shepard, which he told a whole bunch of stories that were just, what a terrific storyteller.
Yeah, no, I don't want them to get rid of his voice in there.
No, not at all.
But you could have the other characters in there talking about the future. But anyway,
you can mix it in.
It's just an idea that I had, and I'm no Imagineer. So,
anything else you wanted to come back, John?
I would like them to bring back e-ticket nights.
Yes, I'm with you. Give me e-ticket night that's affordable.
Yeah, right. It would have to be affordable. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I don't think you can ever recapture that feeling because it was so few people in the parks. And like you said, it was inexpensive. I still remember what it felt like to be coming off Splash Mountain or to come off some of the other attractions that were open back then. It was dark. It was peaceful, and it was fun. And I lament
John, you're making
a lot of noise.
It makes absolutely no sound here. Sorry.
On my ear.
Yeah. I have one more on my list, and you know, I didn't purposely save it for last. It just worked out that way. Streetmosphere. I love Streetmosphere. It was just it was a nice little distraction from the attractions when you were going through Hollywood Studios. And I miss that a lot. It was nice, fun entertainment. I wish they would bring that back.
Well, do they have any at all now?
No.
No,
Not at all.
sadly, no.
No.
Yeah.
It costs money.
Understood.
Yeah, Stuart, I thought you were going back to the Magic Kingdom,
No.
and I thought for sure you were saving the best for last. Stitch's Great Escape. I mean, Alien
Oh.
Encounter.
Oh, please. Yes. Alien Encounter. Please bring it back
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I had to throw Stitch in there for Stuart, but we all preferred Alien Encounter over Stitch.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
okay to have a scary show. You had warnings there in the beginning that said this show may scare little kids. Okay.
You know what has become of our society as a whole? Because you remember when New Adventureland opened, there were parents complaining about the peanuts in the perceived peanuts in the cement or concrete, whatever you want to call the flooring in New Adventureland. Oh, my kids have they're allergic to peanuts. They're going to get sick. Oh my God!
Because that was over by the Dumbo Circus.
Holy crap!
It was the
Are you
theming
kidding
with
me?
it. Yeah, that's the same thing that happened with Alien Encounter. Is that Walt wanted the Magic Kingdom to be it was a family park that everyone could go to, and everyone go. Okay, it's one attraction.
Yeah, that's definitely a guilty, selfish pleasure that I had was extraterrestrial alien encounter.
And my older son loved it when he was young.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So,
Anybody else have anything on their list?
I've talked about my big ones. The ones I really like to see them bring back.
Okay. Any others you want to mention, or you're good?
I'm good.
No, I think we talked about a lot. There's a lot of things from the past that I think we would like to see return, but we know it's just not going to happen. And even if they returned it, because I would say the Mickey Mouse review, but seeing videos of it, it was at the time I was a little kid, so it's that nostalgia. But when you get right down to it, it really wasn't a great show. It was okay.
Mickey's PhilharMagic is a classic show. Yeah.
It's a stronger attraction.
Yeah.
So,
and the reason we did this show this week with things we'd like to see come back is because it's kind of a precursor to what we're going to do next week. And next week, we're going to discuss what the parks would be like if Walt or Roy were still around. And it could be Roy, either Roy, father or son. But that's going to be the topic next week of the show. So I think we would see a very different Disney World, and we're not going to get into it now. We're going to save it for next week. But I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you gave us a thumbs up, and hopefully you subscribed. If you haven't yet subscribed, please, once again, it does help us out tremendously. We would appreciate it. It just gives us more, what's the right word I'm looking for? It just gives us a little more
visibility.
That was it. Visibility amongst YouTube Disney fans and on podcasts that Disney fans are looking for, so they can find us and either love us or hate us. All right, we're gonna get out of here. So until next time, everybody be safe, be yourself. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
I said I'd like to bring him back, so I'm going to bring him back in my own little way. One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation. We thank you for being with us tonight. We hope that we created something fun for you, gave you a little bit of inspiration this evening. Go out and vote on the app if you get a chance, and come back and see us next week. Good night.